Well, I can say that I'm very fond of you, particularly fond of you at the moment, James, because you've just fixed my iPod for me, which has been giving me a lot of trouble for a long time. So I do have a special momentary fondness for you. But in terms of having favourites, of course, you're all joint equal. Well, in fact, with son-in-laws, you're both joint equal.
All two of us.
Yes. I think it's really important to see the world, and the great thing about going some other places, wherever you go, is that you either see things that are better than the way they do them where you come from, or worse. But in both cases, you actually come away sort of slightly better informed and enlightened. But by and large, I think when you travel, what you see in things, you're discovering additional things. You know, different kinds of foods, different kinds of architecture, different kinds of way of just conducting yourself, and it just sort of enriches your life. And I mean, if you're not receptive to that, you can travel all you want. It won't give you any benefit at all. But I think most of us who like to travel do it because it does actually enrich us. I think the best thing is to go with as open a mind as you can. I mean, particularly people from America, they tend to go to places and then try to reproduce an American experience wherever they go. They want to stay in American-style hotels and have, you know, guarantees of hot showers and hamburgers and all those kind of comforts. And I think all of us do that to some extent. We try to reproduce the things, the experiences we have at home and are comfortable with. But actually, it is a lot more fun, ultimately, and certainly a lot more interesting if you just try to go with the way the natives do it and eat the foods the natives eat and drink what they drink and so on. I think that's the most important thing. The other thing I would always say to people is I don't pay any attention to guidebooks or, you know, go on tours or anything like that if I can help it. What I love to do is just wander, and I think that's the best way to experience a city in particular. You know, you guys are about to go to Singapore, and the best thing I think you can do when you go to a place like that is just, you know, check into your hotel room, drop your stuff off, and then just go out and wander around and kind of blunder onto things. It's to my mind, it's by far the most interesting way of experiencing places. But it's also more exciting somehow if you just stumble onto something rather than go there because you've read about it in a book. In the world generally, I think Italy. I have a soft spot for Italy, as you know very well. We go there every summer. We have a long family tradition of going there every summer with the whole family, as many people as can go with us. And I just think it's the most fantastic country because it's beautiful, it's historic, the people are stylish and full of life and exuberance and all that. The food is terrific, the landscape's beautiful, all of that. In the wider world, I think Australia is really the country that I really, really love. I mean, you are going to just absolutely adore it. And I don't know anybody who's gone there who didn't like it. And most people just fall head over heels in love with it. And if I can easily see that if I had gone there instead of England when I was 21, I could just as happily have ended up there. I think probably Russia. Moscow. One of my great regrets in life is that I didn't spend very much time behind the Iron Curtain when the Iron Curtain existed. It was a completely different world because they were cut off. And I did go to Bulgaria and pass through that way, and I was in Yugoslavia when it was still Yugoslavia. So I got a kind of glimpse of that world. They were very cut off from the rest of the world. I mean, those people didn't travel. I'm a very fussy eater. I'm a very cautious eater, so I don't order adventurous things. But I do know once I was in Spain, out in the middle of nowhere in Spain, and I ordered a steak, and the man acted kind of surprised. He said, he didn't speak any English, and I didn't speak any Spanish, so I just ordered this entrecote. And he said, are you sure? And I said, yes, and so he went away, got it, and brought it to me, and I was about a third of the way through eating when I realized I was eating horse steak. And it had been pretty good up to that point. And then when I realized I was eating horseflesh, it suddenly became revolting. So that's the thing that's stuck with me. I can't think of anything offhand that you should avoid doing, other than like avoid getting eaten by sharks or go swimming where there are signs that say box jellyfish are active in this area. I mean, as long as you don't do anything that's dangerous, you'll be fine. And I don't think there's anything you could do there that wouldn't be interesting and enjoyable. Seriously. The things that you should do, well, the one thing that I would definitely strongly recommend doing, and I know Catherine would agree with this, is to go to Uluru and walk around it. It is really quite spectacular. You've never seen just a rock in the middle of nowhere like that. And it is just as, as the books all say, when the sun is coming up or going down and shining right on it, it is quite a hypnotizing sight. And when you walk around it, the thing you realize is that every picture you've ever seen of it was taken from the same spot, so that that kind of loaf shape that it has actually changes as you walk around it. It takes on different shapes as you move around it. It's just in one particular place that the kind of classic profile that you think of when you think of Uluru is just from one particular position where people take pictures of it. It's actually much more interesting than that when you walk around it. It's not that so big that I think it takes an hour or so to walk around it. So that's the one thing that I would say people really ought to do. And so you'll find it's amazing how many Australians have never got around to doing it. Blog. I don't know. Oh, I know, yours, of course.
Yes.
Sorry, because it's the only one that I've ever looked at, ever. And I keep thinking it's the Williams' Australia tour, which would be twat, so that can't be right. It's Williams on tour?
Oz Travels.
Oz Travels, Williams Oz.
It should have been tour.
So anyway, so it's what? It's what?
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 Well, I hope you have a wonderful time, and I've so enjoyed this experience of having a little chat with you before you go. I hope we can have many more chats in the future. We look forward to hearing all about your adventures down under, and can't wait for you to return. Bring your two little girls back to us, because we're going to miss them a lot.
Perhaps you can interview me next time.
I'd happily, because we could start right now. I think it would be work much better if I was interviewing you.